We're on the road again. Follow us as we travel around the northeastern parts of the wheatbelt area of Western Australia. We meet some amazing people with interesting stories and have a look at a bit of the history of the region. We stay in some amazing campsites. We go from freezing our backsides off to sweating the same backsides off in the heat, then get sent packing as a wild storm approaches. We stumble across a private collection of artefacts and go to some amazing museums. And disaster strikes that almost finishes some of the group members' holidays before it starts. So come with us now as we ride the Wheatbelt Way. G'day folks, how you going? Welcome back to this week's video of my current series, the Wheatbelt Way. Last week we had a look around Beacon after a little disaster. We stopped in at an abandoned town and we had a look for a Russian in a paddock. If that made no sense to you, go back and watch last week's video. This week we are in a bush camp for a couple of nights. I've been looking forward to this because I've heard a lot about it. It's supposed to be pretty good, so I've been looking forward to it. So let's get into it and see what we got up to this week. Booting Rock, I think that's how it's pronounced, is by all accounts a pretty popular camping area, and we're spending a couple of nights here. There's a few things around here worth looking at, including Australia's largest rock water tank. You see this all over the wheatbelt area when you've got big rocky outcrops like this. They put in these granite walls, these rock walls they put in. And it's there to funnel the water when it rains. It comes down, hits the wall and runs along the wall and then goes into a storage, some sort of storage area. In this case it goes into this big tank. Now this tank holds 2.25 million gallons of water, or that's about 8.5 million litres of water. It was built in 1937. Not really sure why they thought they needed so much water, because there was only Bonny Rock down the road. So yeah, don't know. There's a nice little walk around the rock with some interesting things to have a look for. It took us maybe about an hour to casually walk around the rock. Take a picture of the map before you go, so you'll have a reference of where you are.
Jackson, animals lifting her bionicle leg. Oh, Dad.
Some nice green water.
Ha, made it.
Yeah.
Kangaroo Rock has the start of a wave forming in the rock wall and would look pretty impressive when the water is flowing over it, making a waterfall. From here, if you keep walking up the rock, you'll come to the highest point on the rock to get a great 360 view of the area around you. Continuing along the wall, you'll find examples of where the wall was built around depressions in the rock to encourage the water to continue its way to the tank. These depressions are called namma holes and were used by the Aborigines as a source of water. You will pass by some interesting rocks, like the balancing rocks, and this one with a hole in it. These rocks usually always have good grip, regardless of what you're wearing on your feet. However, if it's wet, then they can get pretty slippy, so better footwear is recommended. And also, if you have a bionicle leg.
Animals lifting her bionicle leg.
Climb over the wall for a minute at some nearby boulders. You might be able to find some Aboriginal rock paintings. Happy hunting though, because they're hard to find. My suggestion is to follow the well-worn paths around the boulders to lead you in the right direction.
Oh no, he's back.
And just like that, we've made it to our destination. To see this ancient rock wall. If we're lucky, and we need to be very quiet, we might possibly find something. And here we are, we found it. This ancient rock represents or looks similar to the well-known Wave Rock of Haydn. Now Wave Rock, 2.7 billion years old. And this is what it would have looked like 2 billion years ago. Isn't that remarkable?
And now, back to the real world.
If you're into the wildflower scene, then there'll be plenty for you to find during the wildflower season. In a number of places throughout the early sheep farming region, the government put in these sheep dips, and it was all part of the Scab Act. The Scab Act had to do with a skin disease caused by mites on the skin of the sheep. In a places, the government put in these sheep dips around the place, and it was compulsory for farmers to inspect their flocks, and if they had any signs of the disease, they had to bring them down here and put them through the dips. The inspectors had the power to enter your property, inspect your sheep. If they found any sign of the disease and you did nothing about it, they had the power to take anything off of your property they needed to treat the problem, and that included destroying the sheep and then putting the cost of it back onto you, plus the cost of any fines to go with it. During the late 1800s, the government commissioned a number of wells to be installed throughout the wheat belt region of Western Australia. And here is two of them. There's one here and there's another one just over the road there. These were built in the 1890s to provide water for the pastoralists and travellers as they went past.
As I said at the start, this is a popular camping area, and we're here for 2 nights. There are 2 areas that you can camp in. The front section, where we are, has designated parking places, while further back it's a bit more of a find a place you like. Well, the sun's gone down and it's dinner time at the fire pit. Nothing fancy, just hamburgers tonight. And as you can see, it's going to be another cold night. But that's about to change, and that's for another video. You can see why this is a popular camp spot. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you've been here, then leave a comment below and tell us what your experience was like. But that's it for now. Till next time, happy travels. Well, that campsite really did meet my expectations, if not just a little bit over. Absolutely amazing, and we had it pretty much to ourselves, so a really big bonus. As you can see there, we're still pretty rugged up, it's pretty cold, but that's about to change when we move to our next campsite, which is only a little bit further up the road. It's another rock, very popular, and looking forward to that one as well. So, but that's next week's video, so don't forget, subscribe down the bottom if you haven't, and hit the bell next to it. Give the thumbs up for this video, helps the channel out, and till next time, happy travels.